So I recently watched Singles Inferno Season 4, and you may not agree with my opinion about the show, but it is what it is. I have 3 important arguments to make. I have a love-hate relationship with the show, but today I will talk about the things I did not like. You may find some spoilers in this review video, so be alert. 1. The show felt scripted. Firstly, the show felt awfully scripted. I understand that the producers may have wanted to highlight Lee Si-eun a lot because of the way she looked, basically being very attractive according to unhealthy Korean standards. And I understand that she was physically gifted, but it is so strange how she won all the 3 to 4 games that they were playing. Like, for real? Especially the last game where they had to balance on a floater on the water. Lee Si-eun had just played the last round after going for the final round, and she seemed too exhausted to win, and she still managed to throw away 2 winners to win the game. I understand that she has wolf gothic energy, but nobody is a superwoman. On the other hand, the artist with long hair, namely Jun Seo, seemed to win the wrestling game way too easily. Like, the other guys were much more masculine and stronger, yet they were not able to move even an inch of him. Maybe Jun Seo was genuinely physically gifted, but then it felt even more awkward seeing that both Si-eun and Jun Seo were paired together, as if they are the gods and goddesses of human physicality, the ultimate it couple, the boss pairing, and yes, the producers' favorites. It also felt scripted because why was there no tension when the men were alone or when the women were alone? For out of 6 guys liked Si-eun at one point, how were they so chill with each other? That either proved that it is a scripted show or that they were not particularly serious about the girl they liked and did not plan on dating her in the real world. The campfire talks were so weird to watch because wouldn't it be strange to express your feelings about someone in front of 10 more people, and wouldn't it be weird to ask someone about their feelings in front of a crowd? Especially when someone asked a guy who was their second favorite and he said Si-eun, like, isn't that insulting to her? I found the campfire talks like some sort of forced intervention that they had to have to get things interesting, but in reality, it made things even more awkward. 2. The matches. I feel like Jong-soo and Si-eun's chemistry was lovelier. Their worlds seemed to match more. He seemed to understand her on an emotional level. He had a bigger provider's mindset. He was quieter, but you know what they say, still waters run deep. He genuinely seemed to care for Si-eun. He chose her from the beginning till the very end, openly expressed his feelings for her, and what did she do? Showed him false hope and chose Jun Seo at the end. Why did she even choose him for her last date in paradise? I think she wanted to be sure of her choice, but it felt slightly as if she was treating the men as mere toys, moving them as per her will just because she was their first choice and most popular. As said in the Spider-Man movie, with great power comes great responsibility, and I feel like even if Si-eun wanted to choose Jun Seo, she should have given a hint to Jong-soo before the final matching, because personally I feel that he had a great bond with Chung Yoo-jin as well. Never mind, we will come to Chung Yoo-jin later. I respect Si-eun for saying no to Jang Theo in the second last episode, so that there are no bitter surprises at the end, but I repeat, she should have done the same with Jong-soo. He was also at fault because I feel like he never gave any of the other girls a chance and constantly kept making pretty flower cards for Si-eun. He liked her, sure, but if he had accepted that she has other options she is looking into, he should have done the same. He might have found someone who liked him back with the same intensity. However, he kept following his male instincts and chased after her, only for him to get rejected. Twice. After all, it is a 10-day show. People need to be a bit spontaneous and quick thinkers. I understand the attraction that Si-eun has for Jun Seo because of how effortlessly charismatic and genuine he is, but he does not seem to fit into her world. During their second date in paradise, he was calling her casually and not making quite an effort, a contrast to how he had previously behaved empathetically with her, which seemed to deeply hurt her. Then he swore to change himself, but would he really be able to? Kim Min-seol seemed to like him a lot. He was always her number one, and although he treated her like a kid, maybe he should have given her a chance because honestly, she was a really genuine person, and he was not just an option for her. Hate me if you want, but that's the bitter truth. Their conversations were much more natural.
The other couples were quite average and sweet. Dong-ho and Arin had good chemistry. He cared for her even when he went on the date with Park Hae-lin, and it was beautiful. Bae Ji-yeon and Kim Tae-hwan were tedious to watch, but there were moments when his loyalty seemed quite attractive. Hae-jin and Jong-woo seemed to not be part of the show due to their lack of screen time, but it was okay, I guess. Nothing too good. Nothing too bad. Koms kom ka.
3. In defense of Chung Yoo-jin. Now comes my most important point. The absolute mistreatment of Chung Yoo-jin on this show. Like, did the producers hate her because she was the oldest or something, or did they simply want to sideline her for no reason? She seemed to have really kind, adorable, girl next door energy, and she was the only one who cared for the feelings of everyone. When Jun Seo had first come to Women's Inferno, wasn't he attracted to her because of her smile? Wasn't she the first girl to be chosen to go to paradise? Firstly, I do not understand why Jun Seo began to ignore her the moment they came back from paradise, and he did not mention her at all throughout the show. Eugene couldn't have started speaking or saying hello to him the moment he came back from paradise with Kim Min-seol, right? If he liked her, he should have tried harder to communicate with her instead of blatantly ignoring her. If he had made an effort, they could have been a better couple than Lee Se-in and him. At least, in my opinion. Don't come at me in the comments. Secondly, why did the judges make such a big deal about the swing scene? Eugene probably had had a little too much of a drink. She was tensed with Jun Seo not being able to understand her emotions, and she felt ignored, so she was just trying to do something to make herself feel better. After that day, both the men who were interested in her lost interest, but I do not understand why. She is so harmless. She was being herself, but unfortunately, nobody could accept that while in our hearts, we are aware that we are fully capable of making a fool of ourselves in front of our crushes as well. Throughout all the other episodes, apart from the episode where Jong-soo takes her on a friendly trip to paradise, she is ignored. That is mean. She had the maximum potential in the beginning. Maybe if Jong-soo had tried to see the optimism, brightness and goodness that she held within her bright eyes and fluttering smile, and if he had cared to look beyond Se-in, he could have had a fine relationship with Eugene. If Jang Theo had remembered that she was the girl who had made him laugh heartily in Inferno, maybe instead of spending all his time making flower cards for Se-in, he should try to know Eugene. Even when Park Hae-lin and Lee Se-in threw her off the floater, she was brave enough to laugh it off and keep good relations with everyone, only to be left alone at the final matching. Chung Yoo-jin, keep the spirit high, for you will find better. Things that can be improved on. Hey, if anyone who is watching this is in charge of the show, you might try to improve on these few things to make your show more interesting to watch and to increase viewership. Maybe increase the time limit of the show from 10 days to a month. 10 days, in my opinion, is certainly not enough time to find a perfect match. Maybe 1 month is not enough either, but it certainly gives the reality show stars more time to think and process who they actually like rather than just act on instinct. It would be more costly and more episodes, but it will be definitely more genuine. All people on the show should get almost an equal amount of showtime. While I understand that certain people have a particular camera appeal and are more exciting to watch, everyone has something unique to offer, so everyone should be given a similar amount of time to showcase themselves fully. Lastly, as I said, everyone is different and unique in their own ways, so some people are gifted physically, while some might be quick thinkers or gifted mentally or verbally. All the games such as Korean wrestling and the bridge game focused on physical talent, but I believe that if the people were judged on a combination on abilities, perhaps Se-in wouldn't have won all 3 games and the show would showcase a bit more versatility and shifted from its generic nature. Overall, Singles Inferno Season 4 does not come without its faults, but it is a pretty enjoyable show to watch, so yep, that's it.